We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity for Mental Health podcast. And so if it seems like we're going over a lot of information in a very short period of time, the reason it seems that way is because we are. What's interesting is the impact that this will have on you. So does anyone know why in the Voices of Integrity for Mental Health podcast, do you guys know why we go around the room?
To get a variety of answers?
Okay. Anybody else have any ideas?
See what people are looking for.
Okay, see what people are looking for. Good. Any other ideas?
Why do you?
The reason is I want to know, are people coming with intention? Are they coming to be entertained? Are they coming to be tantalized? Are they coming to have a feeling because they're kind of dead? They're just dead. And so they want to be awakened because they're like zombies. And so, is there anything you'd like to accomplish? And it's amazing to me on how many people say, no, I'm good, not sure. It's like, why would you do things without an intention? Why would you do something without intention?
Is it possible that people might not sure what they want to learn because they are trying to be open about what they can learn?
It's a possibility. I think it might be more that people just, they're dead. They're like a stone, or they're like dry bones. They, another question that I ask is anybody care about this person? And as soon as I say that, then what happens?
There's either a sound, people say yes.
What's that?
Most people say yes.
Okay, no. So I say, for example, I say, does anybody care about Ken? Or does anybody care about Kenny? Or does anybody care about Luke? Or does anybody care about Alan or Nancy? Does anybody care about this person? When I go ahead and when I do that, what happens to the group? Or does anybody care about Ginger Ann? Or does anybody care about Jason or Melissa? So when I do that, what happens?
In some cases, they text them.
In most cases, they text them.
Yes.
In most cases, they text them. What does this reveal to me?
You trigger things.
Right. So I trigger caring. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting about it?
That we don't care until you mention it.
Right. Not really. Out of sight, out of mind. And so I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. I mean, it's amazing how much I learn about people and the observation of people and how little they seem to learn about themselves. People are so close to a breakthrough. People even pray, like, God, give me a breakthrough, give me a breakthrough. I don't know. Maybe they think that a breakthrough is going to happen without any work or without any sacrifice or without any pain. Like it'll just happen to me. And, little tiny itty bitty superficial surface breakthroughs, that's how it happens. But significant ones, yeah, maybe not so much. Ginger Ann, what would you like to accomplish today?
I'm looking to try to figure out, kind of in addition to my other questions the past couple of weeks, and getting my children to care about things they need to care about. Or I feel they need to care about. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
Right. And how many people do you have in your life that would say they care about you, Ginger Ann?
A lot.
And how many people do you think actually do care about you?
Maybe 5 or 6.
Be interesting to have a list of those 6. Be interesting to,
My daughter says she cares about me.
well, nice. Which daughter is that?
It was Allie.
Allie. Well, good to have you, Allie, today. So you'd think that, like, if you were to text people, a group text, of a number of people, and say, my question for today's, podcast was this: missed you, or would like to see you on. Do you know what a number of those people would do?
Well, I know at least one of them is already on, so
Yeah, the ones that aren't.
They'd either not respond, I guess, or they would say thank you.
A number of them would actually come to you one-on-one. Because
know.
they want you to think that you care, that they care. They want you to think they care. It's really mostly about them. They want to go ahead and they think they're doing it because they care for you, Ginger Ann. But they really do it mostly maybe for themselves. Does that encourage you or discourage you, Ginger Ann?
I don't know. It's kind of goes along with my question of what makes if people care or not. I mean, because they don't join a call for me, does that mean that they don't care?
Right? Anyone have any questions? Well, here's an interesting question, Mark. Seems like you might have some experience in these areas where you understand that people don't really care about you. They really don't. Have you had those experiences? I would say I have. And how do you respond? How do you respond to that? And I would say, it's okay. And I feel sad for them. Because it's not that people don't care at all. It's not that. It's not that. It's that they're stuck. They're stuck in a very low caring dimension. It's really hit me very strongly after with my oldest brother Vern, after my son died, on how he went ahead and told me how much he cared. Like, it was crazy to me. I care, we care, I care for you and your family. And I'm like, it's interesting. It's okay. And so here's a caring model. So the first level of caring is we're born. It's all about us and only us. That's all we care about. Moms will validate this. Their little one is not concerned their mom's not getting sleep. Doesn't concern what they want is what they want, and they want it when they want it. So that's a level one. Level two is me plus one other person. That's our mom. And what we learn is that if I smile and giggle at my mom, she plays with me. If I treat my mom well, she will give me candy or treats. So I need to go ahead and make sure that this person who has a lot of control over me, I need to make sure they're happy so I'm happy. Level three is me and more. We have siblings and friends and others. And so we need to learn to care for other people if we want other people to care for us. It's still selfish. All of these things are selfish. And then we start moving into a delusional state of me and the more, me and group. So number four, we belong to a group of people. This could be at school, could be friends, could be community, could be a church or synagogue or mosque. It could be, a hobby we have. So it's me and more, me and a group of people. Then we start moving into, and so there's seems like two parts to caring. Is one is awakening and two is ownership. And level five is serving the group has more value than serving me. It's interesting with leaders on how, let's say, for example, pastors, they think they're caring for their flock, they're the people in their congregation, but are they? I mean, if you look at the amiable and analytic personality, the amiable loves to serve people. Loves to serve people. So are they serving people because they're just caring people? That's what they think and everybody else thinks. Are they being manipulated by other people? Absolutely. Are they manipulating other people? Absolutely. And the analytic likes to go ahead and have ego. They want to feel smart. So when we're leading a group of people, so we can feel loved and smart, feel loving and smart. And then we start getting into others, those people who we are somehow connected to. So they're not family, they're not friends, maybe not even a group. They're maybe people, casual acquaintances, or expanded beyond kind of the target. And then stranger close. These are people we may not connect with, but they're around us. They see us, we see them, but we may not connect. Strangers far, we probably will never meet these people. At the time, this was developed, there were 7.4 billion people in the world. Like everyone. Like it's one of the hardest things to get through to people that you're not that caring. You really aren't. You're not that loving. You're really not. And then legacy, how do we care for others like we do our own loved ones? Whoa. Like if our own child is hurting, we are naturally caring for them. If our own trouble, if our own child was kidnapped, would we care? What would we do? Why is it that we shut down the world around us and don't want the pain of people? Why don't we want to feel that other people are hurting? Other people are being abused as we talk right now. Like, why don't we want to feel that pain? So I wonder if somehow as a child, I wonder if somehow in our childhood, or somehow where we get frozen in time, we just get locked. We only get to a level 3. I don't know. Like, I'm curious. Why don't people, like if somebody were to say, Mark, it seems like you've really given this a lot of thought. What's surprising to me is why other people don't. Especially those who are have occupations of caring, like teachers or police officers or first responders or doctors or nurses or pastors or missionaries or social workers, people who have an occupation of caring. I would think that they would go ahead. I don't know. I don't know. Like what I tried to do with my children is I tried to take them into overseas, into impoverished areas to do 2 things. One is to, one is to care about others, and 2 is to have perspective. Any thoughts on that, Ginger Ann?
It's a lot to process.
Okay. Does that help at all or not so much?
I think so.
My mind is racing now. Elaine, what would you like to accomplish?
Well, I was gonna say almost what Ginger Ann did. I would like to be able to connect with my teenagers a lot better than what I'm able to now. We had another incident last night that just cut deep. And it was with both of them, not just with one. But I would like to be able to somehow reach at a different angle than what I've been at now.
Yeah, I get that. So I think on the podcast for passions, I think that I have a feeling, a sense that might be the answer you're looking for. It's like when we connect through people's passions, especially if we're not passionate about those things. Like, like when, like there's something that's pure about that, like where I can get passionate about what my grandkids are passionate about, even if I have no passion for that. I don't know. So I think the upcoming podcast, the podcast on passions, I think that will be interesting. And you may, as you're thinking through it, say, huh, I wonder if I listened to that with them. I wonder what they would say. Or like, I wonder if they listen to this podcast, I wonder what they would say. I wonder if they heard my mom's voice and could feel her heart. I wonder what they would say. I wonder if they were like Jonathan when he was, I don't know, 10, and he was in the delivery room and he saw what his mother went through to bring him into this world. Like, I wonder if that would touch their hearts. Like, what touches somebody's heart? I don't know. Rosanna, what would you like to accomplish?
Yes, as a grandmother and as a friend, how could I be more helpful in these situations that Ginger Ann and Elaine are going through?
Tom Kuhn's grandfather said to him when he was a teenager, Tom, I know what I'm saying to you now probably doesn't have, see a lot of value. That's okay. But it will have a lot of value in the future to you. And all I ask is that what I am sharing with you, if you'll write that down. And so, his grandfather knew something. He knew that he needed to get Tom to write it down. He needed to know, like Ben is on, he's the one that's leading up, Podcast for Passions. Ben is now 25 years old. When he was 16 years old, he was sitting on the couch with my grandmother, his great grandmother, who was 96 years old. And I was just standing there, and there was a conversation, and Grandma Boersma, great Grandma Boersma, said, "So Ben, what do you do? What do you do with your time?" "I hang out with friends, Grandma." And she said, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she said, "So when you hang out with friends, there's 80 years difference between Ben and Grandma Boersma, great Grandma Boersma. She didn't have a computer. She didn't know how to text. She didn't know how to do anything, any of that stuff." And so she says, "So Ben, what do you do when you hang out with friends?" And I was there, and I was just interesting to see, grandmother with great grandson, not grandson, but great grandson. I'm like, this is interesting. I wonder where this is going to go. And he kind of looked at her and looked at me, and then he kind of like, "What do you do? What do you talk about?" And he like, "Well, Grandma," and she laughed and giggled. And she says, "Oh, Ben, you don't have to tell me. I know what you talk about. You talk about girls and how hard your parents are." 8 decades. She transcended all of them, and she connected with her great-grandson at 16 years old. She may not know how to do the texting. She may not know how to do the technology, but she knows what a young man's interested in. She knows what, she's an expert in that conversation. She had 4 sons. I don't even know how many grandsons. I don't know how many great-grandsons. She was an expert in that conversation. She knew what 2 teenage boys got to, when they got together, she knew what they talked about. So you have a lot of power, Rosanna. A lot of power, a lot of leverage, a lot of influence. They'll listen to you and they won't listen to their mom. Just like in Coffee Connection, just like in the business world. Elise or Elaine on an earlier call, she says, I told her, I said, you're going to have a greater impact on people than I do. And she's like, I don't see that. You can have a greater impact on Elaine's kids or Ginger Ann's kids than their moms do. What I mean by that is I don't mean like, obviously they're raising them. Obviously there's a place in their heart for a mom that can't ever be replaced, but you can get through in a way their mom can't get through. So hopefully that's helpful. Adam, what would you like to accomplish? So we'll talk about that in the next podcast, maybe. This one here, you miss one live podcast. You never know what you're missing, right? Oh, it's no big deal. I'll pick it up next week, will you? Maybe not. Maybe not. Share this with 2 other people you care about. No, I'm serious. Share it with 2 other people you care about and get their thoughts. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.